Other interesting cultural news, you have Best Buy banning Christian rights and more discrimination is revealed. Now, this is thanks again to a whistleblower who came to James O'Keefe, James O'Keefe, who is the founder of OMG Media, previous founder of Project Veritas, breaks some of the largest stories out there. And we're just going to play a couple minutes of it, but again, it looks like Best Buy continues to be morally vacuous beyond all belief. So we're going to play a couple minutes of it here.
I'm James O'Keefe with OMG standing outside Best Buy this week on August 8th. O'Keefe Media Group OMG released a story featuring a whistleblower from inside Best Buy that released screenshots of a training program, a management training program with McKinsey and Company, where it explicitly excludes white applicants.
It says in order to qualify, you must be Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, or Pacific Islander. If you do not identify as those, you do not qualify for this management training program, which, of course, is disgusting, morally vacuous because, again, our country is founded on the fact that all men are created equal.
Program's racial requirements have led to accusations of racial discrimination, a firestorm online. The CEO of Best Buy, Corey Berry, has now made her Twitter account private.
She also slept with someone under her, not physically, I don't know what goes on in her bedroom, but she actually slept with someone, a VP of Best Buy, when she was a CEO. Now, if a man were to do that, he'd be fired in 12/10ths of a second because the board of directors would quickly pick up their phones. The whole society would be in a rage. They'd say he was abusing his power, is manipulating, is evil. But she got off scotch-free.
Now,
and that was her sleeping with the VP.
A second whistleblower has come forward exclusively to OMG with audio recordings of his manager, Mike Hirsch, at a Best Buy in Jacksonville, Florida, stating that LGBTQ flags were appropriate in the Geek Squad office, but Christian crosses were not. This has led to further allegations of religious discrimination.
If we're doing all that gay pride flags and all that transgender stuff, like, why don't we have Christian stuff all over?
They're not the same.
How is that not the same?
You can 1,000% choose religion.
So,
it's not a belief.
Listen,
that's a cultural.
Yeah, but me as a cultural entity having beliefs that I have, so why can't I put my stuff all over the wall?
You are choosing to believe in Christianity or Muslim or whatever. You choose that.
Someone is choosing to be gay or lesbian. Hey, they're choosing that.
Enis Sujak, a Serbian immigrant and Best Buy employee in Jacksonville, Florida, recorded the conversation with his manager, Mike Hirsch. I spoke with Enis about his situation. He's decided to go public. Very brave, very courageous individual. Here's some of that interaction.
That is our manager. His name is Mike Hirsch. He and I had a very long conversation. It was like an hour and 30 minutes of he and I just going back and forth with him.
Which is saying something because most employees, unfortunately, just acquiesce to corporate culture where they'll just 100% buy that, but they won't stick up for their own rights or individual freedoms or beliefs. So this guy is pretty unique in and of itself because he actually said, well, what about my culture? What about my religion?
Telling me that it was work appropriate to have all this LGBTQ stuff that's going on in the office and everywhere else, but it's not okay for me to, be a Christian myself and have a...
So in their office, they have it's almost like a pride parade threw up on everything. Every wall in the Geek Squad has the traditional gay pride flag, the rainbow, which ironically used to be a Christian symbol that Christians gave up on, because that was a sign that God said, after the flood, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that again as a sign. But that's actually cultural appropriation. How is that not a big story? But I digress. So the whole office has both the traditional gay pride flag as well as the new one. What flag is that one? Their marketing is not the best because it changes so often. And marketing, the key is to have consistency. Consistency is key with marketing. I believe that is now the trans pride flag.
A Bible right over there. That's right there at the office, or have a cross or a Quran or anything like that. That's not work appropriate. But having that LGBTQ pride flag everywhere else, that is work appropriate, and I wasn't standing for that.
Are you calling the police? I am actually. You're calling the police.
So this is James O'Keefe trying to interview one of the Geek Squad employees.
Taking issue with the materials he saw on the walls, the LGBTQ materials in the morning meetings, he objected to it and walked out as they required his attendance at these morning meetings.
Are these meetings about how to sell a new crappy washing machine or a new mediocre TV that people don't need? Call me crazy, but that's what Best Buy is supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be selling mediocre electronics for high markup and giving piss poor customer service. That's the foundation of their business. But what does that topic have anything to do with their core business?
Her name is Athena. She's also the well-being person at Best Buy as well. And she took offense.
Although not his well-being. That's not important. Not his well-being, apparently.
To how I handled the whole situation of just kind of walking out as she was trying to teach us about the LGBTQ history. So she ended up putting more pride flags because of me walking out. Just
for spite, which, ironically, I can't help but see that theme more and more with certain flags. This is coming from Best Buy. Last week it was revealed a store in Texas, a Best Buy store in Texas. Inside the store, they had they, them, some pronoun flags and pride flags. They didn't have an American flag or a Texas flag, which kind of shows their priorities.
And you walked out of there. How did that go? Athena was teaching about the history, and you just walked out. Did you say anything?
No, not at all. I didn't say anything. I kept it very respectful. That's how I do things in life. I keep it very nice and professional. Me and my partner, we ended up walking out. We went to our truck and we took care of our clients. Apparently,
man, that's a crazy idea. Taking care of the clients. What do they have to do with it running a business? I'm sure that's what I'm surprised the CEO didn't give him that very speech.
She took offense to me not just sitting there and listening to all that garbage.
Now, Enes Sujak works for Geek Squad, which is owned by Best Buy, and it's within the Geek Squad office where Enes witnessed LGBTQ paraphernalia, pride materials. Mike Hirsch, head of warehouse manager of Geek Squad, had a conversation with Enes Sujak, and, well, Sujak decided to take out his phone and record the conversation.
Why would anybody choose to be belittled, tortured, made
in America?
Yes,
in
even
America.
In America.
Where you have so
where is that happening?
much freedoms and rights around here. They get special privileges. They get a whole month to themselves, bro.
There are people like you, and even worse than you, that are so anti that.
I'm not anti. I just don't care about how you live your life. Don't preach that shit to me. That's all I am.
Mike Hirsch, we cannot get in.
Which, culturally speaking, is kind of the pinnacle or the crux or the fork in the road of why this all happened. By default, most conservatives are conservative. They're not going to go out and tell you their opinion. They're respectful. They'll listen to yours. But a lot of them just acquiesced and they would go to all these meetings. But I think a lot of them are just saying enough is enough. Well, if we can't profess our beliefs, why do we need to take, if we're at a company that's supposed to sell, again, crappy washing machines, TVs, what does this have to do with the job?
In touch with him, he has some type of Google system that prevents us from getting his comment, but we've reached out multiple times for Mike Hirsch. We'll also be reaching out to the CEO and the other managers within Best Buy. I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News, and we'll continue to follow this important story. We've had a number of whistleblowers reach out to us in the last 24 hours as a result of this initial screenshot from within Best Buy, not just Best Buy, other organizations and corporations requiring their employees to participate in various political programs that seem outside the scope of their corporate charter. Stay tuned. And Enes, a very brave and courageous individual, very inspiring. We'll be airing the raw portion of my interview with him tomorrow. Stay tuned. Yep.
And I highly recommend taking a look at the whole interview. It's quite fascinating, and I think many people here will enjoy it. Now, culturally speaking, it'll be interesting to see. We talked about last week where you had hiring practices in which they actually have companies saying in their job description whether they want someone who is quote-unquote not woke. And now you have companies like Best Buy where coming to the service, they're very pro-trans, very pro the social issues or social philosophies, whatever you want to call them. Do you think they're going to start actually being more transparent during the hiring process to decrease the amount of employees who don't agree with that? Because having this employee in this situation, it doesn't seem like anyone's happy. Best Buy is embarrassed because it's turned out they're kind of showing how racist they are. But this employee is not happy because he's having to spend time learning about their culture and not learning about the latest warranty on an LG fridge, which I would say be 1,000 times more important for their daily job. So it'll be fascinating to see how much hiring practices change, and do people start to boycott Best Buy, as it seems perhaps finally the last group of people you're allowed to make fun of in the United States, Catholics and conservatives, they're finally starting to speak up. Will companies acquiesce and start treating them with a modicum of respect? It'll be interesting to see, but time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of August, so you can click that button. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.